Happy Monday and welcome back to another week of e-learning. Since it's a brand new week and it's Monday, we have a new journey story, and the new journey story for this week is called Dex, the Heart of a Hero. Of course, like we did when we were still in school, I'm going to read it to you guys so that you can hear it. Then I want for you guys to try and read it every day to get some practice with it. So you can watch this video over every day to listen to it. And then, of course, on Friday you have a test on it. So I'll go ahead and get started. Dex, the Heart of a Hero. If my page will turn. Oh, there we go. Dex was a little dog. His legs were little, his tail was little, his body was little. He looked like a plump sausage sitting on 4 little meatballs. Being the size that he was, Dex was often overlooked. The other dogs grew tired of waiting for Dex to catch up when they played chase, and after a while they forgot to invite him at all. No one really seemed to notice him, except when Clevis, the tomcat, demonstrated how he could stand right over Dex and not even ruffle his fur. So Dex is this little brown dog right here, and Clevis is this black cat right here. Yes, everything about Dex was little, except for his dreams. He wanted to be a hero. He could just see it. But wanting and being are two different things. Dex lived on dreams until one day, after crawling out from under Clevis yet again, he decided there had to be more to life than gazing at the underside of a cat. There had to be more to him. If he could be a hero, he would. So Dex started training. He read every superhero comic book he could find. He watched every superhero movie ever made, and he went to the library. So it has like little captions right here, kind of like they do in comic books, and it says, "The mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry night." And then over here it says, "Furiously he studied, knowing everything." And then my screen is like, oh, can I zoom in? Everything depended on him. Maybe I'll have to keep it zoomed in like this so I can see the words because they're kind of tiny. Takes a minute for the page to turn. Dex figured out that a hero must have strong muscles. He needed exercise, and lots of it. Dex started trotting to the corner and back every morning. He hopped over every crack in the sidewalk. He struggled to climb the garbage pile, up and over and down, and then up and over and down again. All day he worked, day after day, even at bedtime. When he wanted to flop on the rug with his tongue hanging out, Dex forced himself to circle 5 extra times. Down here it says, "The mighty Dex pressed on through wind and rain and storm and fatigue." When it got easier to run the corner and back, Dex did it again, and then again. He dragged a sock filled with sand as he ran, and then 2 socks. When Clevis was bored and stood in the middle of the sidewalk to block his way, Dex dropped to the ground and slid right under him. He was too busy to be bothered by Clevis. So Clevis is trying to distract him, but he looks like he's determined to get strong so he can be like a superhero. Dex was tired. He was sore. He was working so hard that he almost forgot what he was working for. But one night, as he dragged himself to bed after his last set of push-ups, Dex stopped in front of the mirror and flexed. He could feel them. He could see them. Muscles. And then right here in the middle it says, "Faster than a rolling ball, stronger than the toughest rawhide, able to leap tall fences in a single bound." Now Dex didn't take the stairs, he skimmed them. He leapt over hydrants, he vaulted up curves, he could jump over a garbage mountain without touching the top. He could run like the wind. He felt as if his legs had springs. Only one thing was missing. Finally, a small brown package arrived. Dex ripped it open. His hero suit. It was red with shiny green cape, and it fit like a glove. Dex loved the way it felt. He loved the way it looked, and he loved the feeling he had when he put it on. He was ready. Down here it says, "With the courage of a lion and the strength of a bear and the heart of a hero." When Dex went out in his suit for the very first time, he looked up the street and down. He noticed a young pup trying to cross the street. Dex sprang into action. "May I help you?" he asked. He guided the wide-eyed pup across the street and grinned as the pup stared up at him, with its mouth hanging open. The pup whispered, "Wow, it's Superdog." Superdog? Dex liked the sound of that. Of course, when Clevis saw Dex, he just had to comment, "Hey Dex, where's the party?" Dex was so busy that he was able to ignore Clevis, for the most part. The only time his face got red was when Clevis yelled, "Where'd you get that dress up?" Dex had to wonder if Clevis saw anything but the suit. Didn't he understand that the suit was just a way to let people know that he was there to help? So Clevis is making fun of Dex, kind of saying like he's dressed up, kind of like you do for Halloween, or dressed up like for a costume party. And right here, this little caption says, "The sun glinted off his emerald cape as the Superdog raced to the rescue." My words are still kind of tiny, but emerald is like another word for green, so like his green cape. Thank you guys for being patient. I know it takes forever for these pages to turn. There was a mouse he saved from a sewer, a purse snatcher he tackled, he fixed his neighbor's sprinkler, he found a lost kitten, pulled a rat away from a live wire, tracked down a lost wallet, put out a trash fire, and organized a neighborhood cleanup day. It seemed now, whenever anyone needed help, they turned to Dex, and Dex had never been happier. So he's being really helpful, helping all these other animals out. Late one evening, there was a banging at the door. When Dex answered, it seemed as if the whole neighborhood was yipping and yowling in a panic. "It's Clevis," they shouted. "He's stuck in a tree. Hurry, Dex, hurry." Dex raised his eyebrows. It was not like Clevis to move enough to get into any trouble. In a flash, he was dressed and ready. And then right here it says it was clearly a desperate situation. As he got closer, Dex could see Clevis. He had been chasing a squirrel to the top of the tree, but had slipped and was hanging by one claw from a slender branch. He was yowling for all he was worth. "I'm slipping," Clevis screeched. "Help me." Dex looked desperately around for something to climb on, but there were no boxes or ladders, not even any trash cans. Then Dex looked at the crowd. "Quick, everybody," Dex shouted. "I've got an idea." Dex leapt onto the end of the teeter-totter, facing the tree, pushed it to the ground. Everybody on the other end. 1, 2, 3. All the animals jumped together on the other end of the teeter-totter, catapulting Dex into the air. He soared over the crowd, his ears and cape streaming out behind him. And it says, the mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry night. Dex scrambled onto the branch next to Clevis. Quickly, he pulled off his cape and tied its four corners onto the screeching cat. "Jump!" Dex shouted. "Jump, Clevis!" So he's putting his cape on Clevis. With an ear-piercing shriek, Clevis let go. The billowing cape caught the air and parachuted the big cat to the ground. Dex backed up and slid to the ground amidst the cheers of the crowd. Dex was bruised and tired, but he forgot his discomfort as Clevis sheepishly lumbered over, still tangled in his green cape. "Thanks, Dex. You really are a hero." So he put his cape on him so that he could fly safely to the ground and not get hurt. So he saved Clevis, even though Clevis was mean to him at the beginning of the story. Dex didn't think he could feel any better, but he did, just a little. The next day, when Clevis sidled up to him next to him and whispered, "Say, Dex, could I be your partner?" Dex looked at the big tomcat up and down. It would take a lot of work to turn Clevis into a hero. He could hardly wait. "Sure," said Dex with a grin. "Sure." And then it says right here, "With twice the brains and triple the brawn, our heroes forged on, ever ready to lend a helping paw." So it looks like Clevis is going to be like his partner, like a sidekick or something. All right, so that is your story for this week. And the skill for this week is compare and contrast. So I have made something for us to look at about compare and contrast. So right here it says when you compare something, it's how things are the same. If you contrast something, it's how they are different. And this is a skill that we've done before, so this is probably our second time going over it. Could possibly even be our third time. I'm not quite sure. But the reason why we're doing it again is because practice makes perfect. So even though this is something we have been over, it's coming up again in our journey story because they want us to practice it so that we can get good at it. So you probably remember what this is called right here. If not, it's called a Venn diagram. And you have the things that are different, you contrast on the outside, what's different. And what is same, you compare on the inside right here. So I am going to do that with Dex and Clevis. So I'm going to try, I have 1 and 2 because I want to try to think of 2 reasons, or not really reasons, but 2 things that are about Dex only, 2 things that him and Clevis have in common, and then 2 things that are just about Clevis. So, one thing, Dex, and I might have to bring my Chromebook down a little so I can type. But the first thing, Dex is a dog. And you could even kind of skip if you wanted to, skip around. Like over here, I'm going to go, I already did this. Clevis is a cat. They are both animals. They might not be the same kind of animal, but they are both animals. And I'll make this a little bigger so it'll fit. There we go. Now, second thing, something that is just about Dex. Well, Dex was brave. What am I writing? I'm writing a brave. Something that is about both of them. I could say something about both of them is that they both, you can think of things that describe them, kind of like I said how Dex is brave, or you can think of ways to describe them like on the outside, like their appearance. So I'm going to go here, and where I already have the number 2, so it's kind of part of what I was going to type. They both, well, I was going to say they both have 2 ears, which is true, but I'm going to go and do this. They both have 4 legs. Now, something that is just about Clevis, not about Dex, or not about both of them. Well, Clevis did kind of change at the beginning. I mean, at the end of the story, he kind of changed a little bit. You know, he wanted to be partners with Dex. But for most of the story, Clevis was mean. And that's actually going to be a question that's going to be on your journeys test. Because that is how you would describe Clevis throughout most of the story. Now, luckily, he did change towards the end of the story a little bit. But for the most part, you would describe him as mean. So I have 2 reasons for each. Remember, compare is different, goes on the outside. Same is in the middle. It can describe both of them. So I hope that this helps. And after this, you guys are going to answer the questions on your Google form about Dex, the Heart of the Hero, the story that we just read.